Okay, guys, what's going on? I want to make this real quick. I don't want to waste your time. I know you got very busy schedules, so you need more energy, right? There are probably three reasons why you don't have enough energy. Number one, you could be deficient in iron. Number two, you could be deficient in copper. Number three, you could be deficient in potassium. Yes. So you need iron to function. You need iron, that hemoglobin, your hematocrit levels up, because that's like the foundation of iron. Your iron produce oxygen, and it's responsible for adenosine triphosphate (ATP). That's right, producing energy. You got that. So if you don't have iron in your diet, then you're not really wanting iron. You're not serious about wanting iron, because you have to get iron. That's just like almost a must. You gotta have. You may not eat meat. Um, you gotta get it from either plant, but you can't just not have iron. But anyway, so iron is, like I would say, why I'm stressing iron, because iron is like the most important foundational base before you get started with all this energy stuff and energy drink and all this B vitamins. You really want to have a good iron foundation first. I'm gonna tell you why. Because see, like, if you taking, and by the way, stop taking B12 if you don't have enough iron in your system. Stop taking B12. You might have to get blood work done, but you gotta stop taking B12, because see, what happens is it's a correlation between. I'm gonna let you in on this. It's a correlation between vitamin B12 and iron. I did a little research. No, I'm not a health physician, but I am more like an informant. I like to inform people about some of the research that I did in the past and what I've discovered in personal experience um, that I found out taking a lot of different supplements, many different supplements, various supplements. So what I found out is that if you don't have iron in your system, you take B12. B12 pulls from iron. That's really where it gets its energy source from. And people that are deficient in iron are basically, they may have too much vitamin B12, or may have an antagonist. Vitamin B12 is more like an antagonist. What is an antagonist? It's kind of like something that takes away, go against. So if you take a lot of vitamin B12, you're gonna pull a lot more iron out of your system. It's gonna almost like disappear. So if you're trying to use B12, basically you need to have enough iron. So you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm trying to say. You know what I'm saying. So anyway, yes, that's the foundation. So anyway, so the next thing, copper. Yeah, copper is one of the things that I think a lot of Americans are deficient in and don't even know it, because it's kind of hard to find it in foods. You can't just find it in foods unless you have a diet. Uh, well, I would say it's hard to find in food, but unless you're eating cashews on a regular basis, a liver, beef liver, and good source. Chocolate, I believe. Yeah, eating dark chocolate, but then you gotta eat like the almost like the whole bar to get the appropriate levels. But neither of them, I don't really recommend. Yeah, cause my experience, I don't really. I've eaten a lot of dark chocolate, but I didn't really feel anything. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't feel no difference. I've eaten what else? Cashews. I felt a little difference, but I haven't felt the same difference as taking the supplement itself. Yes, the supplement itself is, to me, is better, because you don't have to, because that food you eat has to go through your digestive system. And depending on how your digestive system is, if you got a good digestive system or you got a perfect, it's great. And I believe some Americans, maybe more than not, don't have a good digestive system because it has a breakdown of food and goes down to goes through like different stages, and that can be a problem if you don't have a good digestive system. So you're not getting the nutrients out of the food, and depending on what kind of food, what's is sourced from, it can be a problem. So to avoid all that, basically, I just like let me get a supplement. Let me just go to the store and buy a supplement. So that's how I deal with that. I just buy a supplement. So I have to deal with that. So anyway, I buy like a copper supplement. I buy um, a brand called Sogar. And by the way, I'm gonna try to put the products, the supplements in the link description below if you want to get something. Go straight to the store. But yeah, I take a supplement, and usually my dosage was that. Did I? By the way, did I say my dosage with iron? My dosage with iron is about like. Before I say that, it's about 65 milligrams. I take like 3. It's like the sweet spot. Seems like the sweet spot. If I'm not eating uh, beef, a lot of beef for that day, a lot of beef or steak or something like that, which has abundant, sufficient level of iron in it. If you eat a lot of, beef. But if I have a low beef day, then yes, 3 is like the sweet spot for me. I've tried it. For me personally, it's like 3. It's like the max. Start going over it can be like maybe a little too much. But yeah, 65 milligrams of like 3 servings, of 65 milligrams is pretty much where I like to take, what I like to take. So anyway, on to that. So when it comes to copper, right? Copper is really nice. I find that copper is good when I'm taking a supplement because I can have a burst of energy when I eat copper. I take usually like 6 milligrams or more at a time. Well, I don't. I try not to exceed 12 milligrams. You don't want to risk having a copper headache, and like I said, it depends. Also, disclaimer: how much food you're taking already that has copper in it. So I say their limit is like 15 milligrams of copper. You don't want to, if you're already consuming something that's high in copper, like I said, like cashews is high, beef liver, are the main ones, dark chocolate, but it's not so high in dark chocolate. But anyway, you want to be careful. That's why I keep it at a range of like 6 milligrams. It's like 3 servings, because it's like 2 per. And sometimes I even do like 10 milligrams of copper. But anyway, so that's what I take. And I know it's a burst of energy, because you can have too much zinc, and if you don't have no copper, you're just going to be feeling. That's another thing. You have too much zinc, and then because copper is like zinc antagonist. So if you don't have any, if you eat a lot of zinc from foods and stuff, you don't have no copper, then too much zinc can make you feel lethargic. And you gotta have copper to, balance that back out again. That's what I've learned. I noticed that as soon as I take copper, it has a little moment where it has to dissolve. A little pause moment where it has to dissolve. But once it dissolves, you notice that upon also taking the iron, you notice that you have a burst of energy. I've tried this many times. You may have not known this, but I've tried this many times. You have a burst of energy. Also, bringing us into our last thing too also is the potassium. So like, you want to make sure you have potassium as your foundation. People may not take potassium serious, but it is not to be taken lightly. Potassium is a thing that you want to have, because potassium is a must. Some people say, "Oh, you're not going to want to take too much of something." My experience, I've taken up to 2,000 milligrams of potassium, or a little bit more than that. Yeah, they say they limit is, I don't know, 400 milligrams or yeah, I don't know, 700. But the way I do it is I judge it off a banana. I judge it off the banana. The banana is like 422, nearly 5 grams, 500 grams of potassium. And if I eat 2 bananas, that's 1,000. If I eat 3 bananas, that's 15. So that's how I judge how much the daily limit of potassium. But one thing you want to do sometimes is, what I do is I space it out. So I space it out so it won't be bunched up together. You know, it won't be timed. The time will be give it some breathing room. So I give it some space. You know what I'm talking about? So like yeah, I give it some space. But you wanna take, especially if you haven't eaten a banana. Like I said, it's all based on to what your diet is, your regular diet is. So if you eat a lot of bananas, then you don't want to eat a lot of supplements and potassium. You don't want to do that. So you want to balance it out. You know, um, yeah. So it can go high dose. And bear in mind, your heart is utilizing potassium. So when you space it out, it's good too, because your heart is actually using the potassium. It's using potassium. So don't be surprised if you can take a lot per spaced out, per 4 hours, or per 2 hours. Because your heart is, believe me, it is using it. Don't think that you taking potassium, your heart is not using it, bro. You just give it like a space of like 2 hours or 3 or 4 hours, then you can take that doses right back over again, because your heart is constantly pumping. Your heart doesn't stop. Just then be mindful. Your heart doesn't stop. It doesn't take a break. It's pumping 24/7. Yeah, I had thought about that. I was like, wow, my heart is pumping. Yeah, your heart is pumping 24/7. Uh, and it runs off of. I'm gonna be honest. Your heart runs off electricity. And guess what? Potassium is electricity. But anyway, I hope you find this information helpful. Follow, like, subscribe, share with somebody, and I wish that you would share with somebody, because it would get this information out and help the algorithms to let more people know about these so-called secrets. Yes, that is not very common knowledge. So I appreciate you for watching. Thanks for taking the time out, your precious time. Please stay tuned until next time. I see you.